All right, guys, it's Coach Gaglione here from GaglioneStrength.com. I have Chelsea on the line today. We had a little technical difficulties, so if we seem a little out of it in the beginning, we apologize. But we're pulling through. We're making an effort. So, how you doing today, Chelsea?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
All right, great. So we're loving it. Now we got the nice green room in the picture, so we're brightened up. We're ready to go. So tell the people watching a little bit about yourself and what you got going on right now.
Sure. So for the third time, no, I
Take
am
three,
Chelsea,
guys. Take three.
and I am from Pennsylvania. I was a college softball player, and I studied speech language pathology. So I'm a practicing speech language therapist right now for an outpatient rehab in Reading, Pennsylvania, and I serve both pediatrics and adult patients. And I'm a powerlifter. I compete USAPL and in the 63 and 57 kg class.
Nice. Cool. So tell me a little bit about how you actually got started lifting. I know you were a collegiate athlete and you kind of dabbled in it a little bit. How did you actually get started with strength training?
So after I had finished my 4 years of playing softball, I had another year of school because I did a 5-year master's program, and I was able to kind of venture home a little bit more than I was when I was playing. My dad and I just started lifting for fun. In a more like strength sport type of way. We started like lifting heavier. I had more time to dedicate to it, and I noticed very quickly that I enjoyed having muscle on my body and feeling strong. So we kind of started. That's kind of started our venture into the sport.
Very cool. And then, what would you say if you could pick one like a defining moment where you kind of said, "Man, I really love lifting. I want to actually do a competition."
Okay, so when I was about 21, right before my 21st birthday, I had lost a lot of weight, and I had, so this was even before I got to finish softball, and I had bought a 300-pound weight set and a bench, threw it in my college garage, even though I lived literally down the street from the gym. I threw it in there so I could kind of teach myself how to lift. I saw myself getting stronger and stronger and being better on the field, better at bat and faster around the bases, and I really liked the way I looked like aesthetically. From that 3-month period where I lost a lot of weight, it was like I was trying so hard, and then as soon as I started lifting heavier, it just like all fell into place. So when I started with my dad, when the strength came, not just the muscle, I was like, all right, let's do this. So I signed my dad up for a meet. He competed on my birthday, my 23rd birthday, and then that was December, and January I prepped for my first meet.
Very cool. And what was it like going through your head, like doing your first competition, and tell the people watching how was that experience for you?
So it was awesome. Something you'll never forget, I guess. So it was my dad and I both competed. My sister was training as well, but then she ended up getting pregnant with my niece, who was turning 1 on Saturday. Nice. And she, so we prepped together for that. About 3 weeks out of my first meet, I ended up getting into a car accident, and I fractured my sacrum. So I kind of had to shut it down a little early, and I was like very, very nervous to compete. I was also a little nervous I competed at 63 at the time, but I didn't know if I was even going to make the weight class. So that was a little stressful too. But I was good. I made it. Thinking back now, the numbers I pulled, it's kind of, obviously, I put on like 80 pounds in like a 12-week prep after that, because after your first meet, you don't really know what the hell you're doing. But it was such a cool experience, and you just don't forget it.
Very cool. So I know you had a couple of injuries, some setbacks, but I know you just had your first meet back, even dropped a weight class, which is cool. I know that your strength still kind of like getting back to where it was, but it's pretty awesome to see that you haven't quit. You're still like pushing through. Tell us a little bit about like what you've been kind of doing to kind of overcome that, and what motivates you to kind of keep going and keep pursuing, stay in the sport.
Sure. So I think that first and foremost, what definitely inspires me to keep going is my dad, because my dad and I trained together. So my first meet was April, then I competed in July, and then I competed at USAPL Nationals in October. So back-to-back preps. For my first year competing, I ended up having like a clavicle osteolysis in my right shoulder, which is like a weightlifter shoulder. I had a really low bar stance, so I think that pulled a lot, especially being an overhand athlete my whole life. So a couple months later, I shut it down. I didn't even get an imaging on it, didn't do PT, whatever, so I just shut it down. I thought I just needed a break. I started feeling better, but I still knew something was wrong. So I got some imaging done on it, and it was that clavicle osteoasis. I started therapy, and then my AC joint separated when I was in therapy. So I had a grade 2 separation in my right shoulder, and since then my body has just gone to shit. All down my right side, and my hip and my knee, my quad has atrophy in it, and down my leg. I have no stability or strength in my right calf or right foot. So my lifting has went down tremendously, and so has my weight because I haven't been lifting as heavy and eating as much. So that's kind of why in August I decided I could attain the 57 for sure. My deadlifts kind of stayed decent. Obviously my bench, no good since the shoulder, but I put up like 145 or whatever it is. And then my squat has been most affected. I attempted 308 twice at USAPL Nationals. I got called on depth last October, but I only hit like a 265 when I competed at 57.
Well, it's still a new weight class, and I think you gotta like. I think a good kind of takeaway from this is when you're kind of coming back from an injury, try not to worry about what you did in the past. Just worry about like what you could do moving forward. And
Right.
I think I really one of the things I admire about you is that you're still kind of pushing and you set those new numbers in new weight class, which is awesome, and I'm looking forward to see like what you
It
can
was
do
fun
in the
too.
future.
It was
So.
like the most fun I ever had at a meet. Like, it was just my dad and I. We told our family to stay home. I didn't tell any friends I was competing. It was just us.
You even told me that I couldn't even come cheer you on.
It was just us, and it was a freaking blast. I'll be honest, like, I see a lot of people that have a really good support system when it comes to strength sports and especially powerlifting. I don't think that. I mean, I have a powerlifting gym now. They're great, but I don't even get to go up there that much. My boyfriend is a World's Strongest Man competitor, so he's like my anchor. He definitely keeps me grounded and always keeps me pushing. But like when it comes to powerlifting, like my dad is just like it. So being able to continue and push through the injury, like he said, like we're not going to talk about how hurt you are. We're just going to compete today.
Yeah.
So we did it. I set a goal. I wanted to do 57. We did it, and I pulled together a good meet. I went 8 for 9. Came down to my last pull. It was my best meet for attempts yet. So I'm excited for the future and to see how I can get back on for real on the platform. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, I'm excited to see what you could do. So if maybe someone is looking to start out and maybe they kind of have dealt with some injuries and they're kind of they want to stick with it, what kind of advice could you like kind of give them if to kind of keep pushing forward and and that kind of thing?
Yeah, for sure. So I definitely think the best thing to do is keep you surrounded with people that do lift you higher. My best friend, she just competed at her first meet.
That's awesome.
And to hear when we were standing there and someone asked her, like, how'd you get into this? And she pointed to me, like, I could have cried. Like, I'm such a girl and I'm so soft. But just knowing that, like, I inspired someone to do that's awesome. And she was there the whole entire way through my injury. Like, she was there when I couldn't even lift my hand over my head. So to have that is obviously the biggest, the biggest thing is just to have that support system and just to do like what you can. I think you're right. I can't compare my numbers to when I competed at 63. I can't compare it to when I competed at nationals. But I just think that if you just do the best you can, like it sounds like so cliche, but you definitely get some inner peace knowing that you're giving your best and you're doing the best you can. Like I'm doing the best I can with my injuries, right? I'm doing what I can, and I'm taking it a step further. I'm finally going to see a neurologist to figure out what's going on with my leg. So I'm ready to go further than just doing what I can.
Very cool. I think it's really a great point. My business coach always says like progress, not perfection. So as long as you're kind of like a little bit better than yesterday,
right?
I think that's like a great like mindset, great advice for people. The other thing I wanted to ask you too. So I know like in the beginning you like kind of like got your like weight set and you kind of threw it in like in your garage to kind of like.
I swear no one would believe that if they didn't see it because I've always been known to be this like athlete, tough girl, like strong girl, and like. Until I started lifting, like I didn't know what strong was. You know what I mean?
That's really cool. So for people that maybe are like me, they're like, oh, I don't know if I should. I don't know if I could join the gym. I'm kind of embarrassed. Are people going to watch me? Or I don't know. I don't want. What are people going to think? Like, what kind of advice can you kind of give them to kind of help them kind of get started?
So I think probably the best thing for that is to pair with someone that you see is lifting well. Even if you don't know what lifting well means,
Right.
at least you'll have some kind of baseline to go off of. I was at my cousin's wedding the other day, and she was like, I want to lift, but like I'm so scared. Like I don't even venture into the weight section of the gym. I'm like, I got you. Like I'll cross over the border to to the armpit, New Jersey, and help you out. Like I think it's really important to have that, to just have somebody that when I first did that, I was hiding myself in my gym, my garage, and then I would venture like one time a week to the real gym, and then I kind of got hooked up with some. They were like exercise science guys that were like doing a bunch. They were always in the gym doing a bunch of experiments and whatever. So I kind of got hooked up with them. I thought that was a good place to start because they were a little more educated than the typical gym goer. And then they kind of like took me under their wing for some basic lifting. And then, you advance yourself. Like, I like that, having that basic lifting. But now I turn to, Jess and Eric Kratz own my gym. And they're an awesome couple and super freaking strong. So they're who I turn to. So I think you have to evolve with your skills, but it doesn't always you don't have to turn to the greatest power lifter ever to get into the gym and get lifting weights. Start with the girl that looks like she knows what she's doing, or even the guy. Start somewhere small, and I think once you have that, people are more than willing to take you under their wing.
Yeah, I think a good takeaway is just like don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be like you have to ask Ray Williams how to squat or anything.
Right. And it's so hard because you get so swept up into social media and what everybody else is doing, and everybody is going to squat a different way, and everybody's going to program a different way. So I know when I first started out and I was like trying to teach myself, like just even the big three, I was like, what the heck? Why is everyone saying so many different things?
Low bar, high bar, wide, narrow. It's like, what are you, healed, flat? It's
like what am I
crazy.
doing?
Yeah,
like,
crazy.
And then it's so crazy how it evolves because like now I've had to go back to high bar because of my shoulder, and I'm like, how did I ever high bar, period? And that's how I started lifting, was high bar, athletic squat, like nothing fancy. So I think you have to evolve. I think not being afraid to ask for help is a big thing, but you have to take the self-initiative to do your own research, because there's some things that I know that do not adapt to, my body does not adapt to. So therefore I wouldn't do that if someone advised it. So you have to do your own research too. The internet is a great source. We have $500 phones for a reason. Right?
Well, I don't know what phone you have, but no, I feel you though. Yeah, I think it's good to it's okay to make your own mistakes and kind of have your own path too. I think we all kind of start off like maybe just like looking at a muscle magazine or now like YouTube and things like that. And I think there's nothing wrong with just like actually trying. And another thing we always say is, you win or you learn. So even if you kind of have some setbacks and you fail, you learn from it, you grow, you get better. And it's all about perception. And I think it's like just don't be afraid to like, don't be afraid about having setbacks, because again, they're going to happen. It's inevitable. Right. It's just how you kind of bounce back and kind of
you have to take that plunge though, regardless. Even if you don't want, you're afraid to look stupid in the weight room if you're a girl, or even some guys. Like what I admire most about my gym right now is there's a huge coming up like 35-year-old guys that are just starting to get into strength sport. Like couldn't imagine like being that. It was hard enough being the college girl that was afraid to get in the weight room, let alone the guy, the macho that has to happen with guys. So I think that you just got to take the plunge if it's something you want to do.
Yeah. Speaking about like macho guys and stuff, I have a couple of girls that like squat and deadlift over 400, and sometimes it could be intimidating for a guy to be like, oh, I don't even know if I can, I don't know if I can like lift as much as this like little girl over here, and but at the end of the day, you just got to worry about your own self progress and like don't be afraid about what everyone else is doing. And I definitely think that, like you said before, that's definitely a challenge with the social media age and things like that. But there's always someone better. There's always someone worse. Just worry about your personal journey. And like I said, and I think a lot of people are willing to help. They're not going to make fun of you. They're not going to put you down. And
social media is a great tool too. It's what you make of it, right? So if you want to use that to reach out to people, I know it doesn't matter how many followers people have; they're still going to get back to you.
Yeah.
Like they really will. Like if you're presenting it the right way, you're asking for help the right way, like someone will get back to you. There's a million hands out there that want to help.
Yeah, I mean that's basically how we got connected in school.
Yeah.
And, right. We probably would have never if that didn't exist, we probably would have never
Right.
We wouldn't be talking right now.
We wouldn't be doing this round 4.
We wouldn't be. Yeah, is it round 4? I know it's crazy. So we had a little technical difficulties, but we're pulling through. I think I'm actually almost afraid. I might actually want to almost close it out soon, just to make sure we have such great footage right now. This is take 4. It's our best shot right now. So, but very cool. So do you have any I don't know if you even care about this or not, but if people kind of want to follow what you're doing, like, where can they kind of find you?
Instagram's probably my best. When I first started lifting, people would be like, "You're competing?" Like, I used to never use it. Now I use it. It's still my life. There's still pictures of babies on there, babies, boyfriends, booze, music, things like that. Some country music. I have I put some training on there sometimes. So my handle is at Chelsea Alma, so CHELSEA ALMA, and
cool.
Only
give her a follow.
Yeah, give her a follow.
And then the other thing I wanted to ask you too, real quick before we close.
Or come lift with me. We have a great gym in Allentown, and it's awesome. And the crosses are great. And
what's the gym called?
It's called Competitive Edge Power and Fitness. It's in Allentown, Pennsylvania.
So if you're in Allentown, definitely check out Competitive Edge. I think that's also really important if you can go to a community or a group like a gym like that. It's awesome. Back in the day when I started 10 years ago, back in the day, so old, but we didn't really have powerlifting gyms. I mean, we had to kind of fight for the squat rack in the corner of a commercial gym, and I think it's really cool to see the sport growing and the opportunities that we have, and it's only getting better.
Too. I know how I felt in a commercial gym and how I feel, in my even in my spandex, or even if I was with my dad, in my spandex, in my high sacks, in my tank top, showing those traps, you know what I mean? Whatever. But going to a powerlifting gym is so much better. It's you can totally be yourself, wear what you want to wear, be as loud as you want, be as quiet as you want. That's the nice thing about it. Yeah, it's you can just do what you have to do, because everyone's there for the same reason,
Very cool. Well, Chels, thank you for coming on. Thank you for coming on for the fifth time. And so we hope you guys enjoyed it. It was a struggle, but we made through it because we don't quit. So
no, we do not. Thanks for having me.
That's how we roll. It was great chatting with you. You could definitely we're gonna close out the recording soon, but you could definitely stay on. But definitely show Chelsea some love. Drop her a comment. Follow her. Drop her a comment below. If this helped you, please share it with someone else. And subscribe and check out the links below. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye, guys.